Hello, everyone. Thank you for spending part of your Friday afternoon with us as we head into this Thanksgiving week. I know everyone's getting busy, ready to eat. We're excited to be joined today by our Senior Engagement Manager, Eric Shivey. Many of you may recognize Eric. He first joined FIT back in 2018 before taking a brief detour to the Pacific Northwest. Eric is not only a talented strategist and engagement manager, but also a freelance sommelier. Yes, you heard that right. He's as comfortable swirling a glass of Syrah as he is navigating MFA and cybersecurity agreements. But today, Eric's impeccable taste extends beyond wine. He's here to introduce one of Microsoft's newest tools, Microsoft Loop. This isn't just another app, it's a game changer for collaboration. Loop brings notes, tasks, and real-time teamwork together in one seamless space, helping your team stay aligned, organized, and focused. I won't spoil too much of Eric's presentation, so sit back, relax, and maybe imagine what wine pairs best with learning something new. As always, drop questions in the chat. We'll send out a quick survey at the end. And with that, I'll hand it over to Eric.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alicia, and welcome everybody. So today we're going to explore Microsoft Loop and how it will help organize your team's projects and content. By the end of today's session, you'll know how to navigate the dashboard, how to create workspaces, and how to use the powerful features that are built into Microsoft Loop so you can really stay organized and collaborate effectively. So Loop essentially is Microsoft's collaborative app building off the functionality of OneNote. So whether you're in Rocky River, Ohio, or Boca Raton, Florida, you can collaborate with your team in real time. And before we dive in, I thought first we'd take a moment to show you around the Loop dashboard so you can be comfortable with the key components and get a lay of the land before we dive into the features. So Microsoft Loop is organized into workspaces, which you can think of these as areas or projects within your team's organization. And within any workspace, you have a series of pages and subpages that you can really fine tune and dial in how you want to organize your content. So over on the left-hand side, you'll see, there we go. Sorry, I think a little technical difficulties there. We'll get back to it, 1 second. On the left-hand side, you'll see the navigation dashboard, and you can expand or minimize that to really make the space a little bigger. And on the left, you can also search for some of your Loop content. It's a global search looking through all of your Loop information. Any notifications, if you want to stay up to date on some of that activity, there's a notification section in here. And you can also locate any of your most recent content. The My Workspace section in Loop is where all of your personal Loop content will be organized. So if you ever want to get back to the Loop homepage, that little Loop icon in the upper left will take you right back to the main screen. So now that we're familiar with the Loop dashboard, let's go ahead and begin by setting up a brand new workspace. So the Loop workspaces really act as project hubs, and within each workspace, the pages and subpages are going to be used for organizing your content and really drilling into some of those components. You can think of the workspaces as the product or topic, and the pages within them as the individual phases or components of your project itself. So on the workspace page, you can go ahead and create a brand new one and update the cover photo. You'll see a lot of different various stock images to sort through. Whatever works for you, go ahead and pick that one. And then you can name the workspace and then also assign a little emoji to really just add to the overall look and feel of Loop. So for this one, let's pretend we're preparing to open a brand new office next year, and we'll use this workspace to navigate that project. So once you've created a name and you've added your little emoji, you can go ahead and add the different team members and add them into the workspace. And if you forget later to add some people, you can go ahead and do that down the road. It's not a big deal. But if you want to add them out of the jump, this little members section here will add any people from your team. So if you ever want to adjust those, you can go back to the Loop icon, see the workspaces list, click the little ellipses for that workspace, and you'll see some editing options here. But one other thing I recommend doing on that main Loop workspace view is if you plan to work regularly on any specific workspace, the little star icon will add it to your favorites, and you'll see it appear at the bottom left when I click it. And then now later on, you can find it really easily. And if you're ever looking at this big workspace view, you can filter by those on the upper right to just navigate to some of your more favorite areas. So now that we have a workspace started, let's go ahead and build some structure for it with some pages and some subpages. Within the workspace, you'll have an area where you can focus on different projects for creating this new office in this example. So again, when you want to change the title, you can go ahead and key that in. And each individual page or subpage will also feature a little emoji. Again, little kind of fun features that make this minimalistic design that Microsoft has created with Loop a little more interactive. And for this particular workspace, let's say we want to identify any key stakeholders for our brand new office space. Over on the left-hand side, you can start adding subpages by clicking the little ellipses for that page or that little create new page button just below it. When you have a new page started, at the bottom, you'll see some preloaded templates for page design. So for kickstarting your page and getting started really quickly, you can pick one of the templates from the template gallery. And later on, I'll show you how to make your own templates. Navigating and reorganizing how your content is laid out, you can just drag and drop. It's very easy to do. Let's go ahead and go back to this page, and I'll show you how to add some other features here. So if you ever want to reorder, drag and dropping is how you do that. And if you want to add a web-based resource like a website, you can go ahead and do that as well. So we'll add a new page here in a moment, and you can see I'll just go ahead and key in a URL, and it'll just be really quick access to any important web resources. So we built out our structure for this Loop workspace. Let's speed things up a little bit and move on to one of the most powerful tools you'll find in the Loop dashboard, and that is the / keyboard command. So by typing / in the typing area, you'll see the whole menu, and you'll notice there's not really a ribbon in Loop with all the different tools. Different keystrokes will open this up. So in the /, you'll see pretty much everything Loop has. So communications tools, media items, text formatting options, and a whole host of other features. The one I wanted to focus on today is the table. So I can just pick table from the list, or you can just start typing / and then type table, and you'll see the different table options appear, and I'll click that one. So the default table has 2 columns and 2 rows. So let's name this first column phases, and I'll add a couple phases here. And then on the right-hand side, let's change the second column to a different type. So instead of just being text-based, you can change the different column types, and it will reorient what that table does for you. So in this one, let's make it a people column. And then when I click into that cell now, you can start to add individual people from your team. So we'll add Katie first, and we'll add a few others. Somebody that's not already part of the workspace that you added when you first created it, Loop will alert you. It'll tell you that this person's not in there yet, and you just go ahead and click the plus button, and then they'll get an invite to gain the right access. I think one of the coolest features about this people option for the column type is at the bottom, it will summarize how many tasks are allocated or assigned to an individual person. So you get this nice at-a-glance view, easily visualizing how evenly work might be distributed amongst your team members. So we have our phases column, we have now the organizers, and let's go ahead and add a third column over on the right-hand side. The little button will open a new column. And let's name this one hours of effort. And instead of doing text or people, let's make this one a number type. Pretty cool feature about the numbers. As you add different numbers in here, you'll see at the bottom, it will start to summarize the numbers I type. And from that bottom menu, you can toggle between the sum or an average or just the overall count, and to kind of get this nice at-a-glance view for the table view here. So the table is really powerful. There's lots of other things I think you can play around with once you start using it. Let's move on now to how to format some of the content within your workspace. It's much easier to navigate once you start leveraging this. So I'll drop in some text, and we can use that for today's demo to apply some formatting. To keep design clean, again, there's no ribbon in Microsoft. So by highlighting over the text, you'll see those formatting options appear. You can assign different header types. Let's make this one a heading type 2. And it's really easy now to just assign different text as headers. Another really neat feature is this collapsible header option. So if you have a lot of content you want to hide, or there's a big, a lot of text in your list, this collapsible header will make it a bit more streamlined to view. So by creating headers, not only does it change the way the text looks, but now you can interact with it in a different way. So if you have a lot of content in one of your workspaces, you can, instead of navigating and scrolling around, you can create a table of contents. So just like before, I'll put a space up here at the top. I'll start typing the / and I'll just type table. You'll see some other table choices, and this time I'll pick table of contents. So now by clicking the different pieces under the contents page, you'll jump around to the workspace itself and find that content really quickly. And these are just, again, some of the formatting options. There's a whole bunch of things this does. Another really cool feature is the checklist item. So if you're like me and you love punching out lists and knocking off your to-do list, you can assign text as with a little radio dial basically and check it off when you do it. Again, really neat features, a lot of productivity tools. I'd encourage you to kind of get your hands dirty and start using it and understand some of the powerful functions. So now let's talk about some different task management tools. Again, in this example, we'll do the / and let's go ahead and add a task list. The cool thing about this, all the tasks that you assign in Loop will actually synchronize with Microsoft Planner and Microsoft To Do. So you have this really seamless integration with those other productivity apps within the 365 ecosystem. So the collaboration tools are very powerful, and one of the most interesting ones is this, what they call Loop component. So by highlighting anything in your workspace and picking the Loop component, it will essentially take this individual piece and you can share it with other people in other applications. So this table is now copied, and I'll pull over this Outlook message. You can do it with Teams as well. And I'll paste in that Loop component, and you'll see it appear in the Outlook message. The person that receives it, or the person as I typing in here, you'll see it updating in real time. So whoever you're collaborating with doesn't even need to open Loop to add content. It will just create this nice seamless synchronization across the two platforms. So Loop is always up to date with the most current information. These components really make sure that you're all on the same page, right? And you're not having to save different files and things like that. Another really nice feature that if you're familiar with the Teams, Microsoft Teams, is the @ mention feature. So by typing the @ symbol, you'll type your team member's name, and then it will notify that person that they can find in the notification center later, and it will just jump them right to that page or subpage wherever you tag them. A lot of other collaboration features are built in. I think just for today, I want to show you a few to kind of get you thinking about how you can leverage this tool. The final area I wanted to make sure we covered is creating your own custom templates. So earlier, we learned if we create a new page, you can select from a predefined gallery template library that will just jumpstart your using Loop, and you can use some of their preloaded content. If you ever create your own workspace and you want to use it down the road for its consistent look and feel, you can save it as a template. So picking that workspace on the left, going to save as a template, you'll see now you can update the title, the name, add your own kind of picture like before, the emoji, of course. And once you create it and you go back later to open a new page and want to go to the template gallery, you'll see the custom templates there right for you. So you can really streamline and make sure everything's very consistent across your workspace and across your pages. And if you're like me, you kind of go down the rabbit hole of looking at the emojis and the pictures. I won't bore you with that today, but there's lots of really neat things in here. So we hope that some of the topics we covered will help you get started using Microsoft Loop. It's a wide open platform, and we designed this training to really help you get a jump and use some of the most powerful features that are included. As you've seen, as I've scrolled around, there's a lot of other tables, a lot of other tools. So I'd encourage you to kind of use it and maybe figure out how your team can best leverage this for your productivity. It does integrate across the other platforms within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So it's just one more tool in the toolkit to make sure your days and your teams are really integrated. All right. Let's go ahead and see if we have any questions in the Q&A section.
Doesn't look like we have anything in the Q&A, Eric, but I think that means that you gave a great presentation and covered a lot of stuff. But as always, thank you everyone for attending. If you do have any other further questions, feel free to continue to post in this Q&A. We'll keep an eye on it as time goes on. Oh, we do have one that just came in here, Eric, so we'll throw this one to you. Hopefully you have a good answer. We'll see. It says, what about a calendar view? For example, a schedule of social posts and related tasks to prep for those. Is there any sort of calendar view in Loop, or you know, is it similar to how you showed? I guess maybe what kind of variety is there in the templates?
Yeah, the calendar view is an interesting question. So there's definitely different options to synchronize back to your Outlook calendar and leverage some of those tools. I didn't really dig too much into that in prep for this, but I can get some information for you, Amanda, and we can send that over to you.
Great. I think that is all we have then in the Q&A. There is also a link to our feedback survey there in the Q&A. So if you would take a few minutes and fill that out, it really helps us improve our sessions going forward. And also keep an eye out. We will be sending this recording in a follow-up email. If all goes well, it'll be sent out later today. So thanks again for attending, and have a good weekend, and enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday next week, everyone.